Another WWE star is out of action till next year. Plus, future plans for SmackDown stars on NXT have been revealed, and a major SmackDown return has been teased. It is all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. We've seen a number of main roster talent go down with injuries in WWE. Injuries that are going to see them out of action for the majority of, if not all of, 2023. We can now confirm there is another one.
Yes, unfortunately. So, as reported last week, Shotzi got injured at an NXT taping. That episode aired this week, and we were able to see what had happened. She's given an update herself on her condition following what was a suspected knee injury. She said, thank you to everyone who is... Oh, sorry, she said, I tore my ACL, which means I'll be out of action for 9 months. Thank you to everyone who has checked up on me. I'm just extremely devastated and angry. She also detailed the emotional real-life events that have rocked her life in the past few years, the passing of her father and stepfather, her sister's battles with cancer, and ended by saying, I'm looking forward to coming back, not just physically stronger, but mentally also. Yeah, really tough time for her, not just in terms of... all these very real life things going on, but now this injury as well.
Yeah, so we heard last week it was a knee injury that might keep her out for a long time, and it was only last night that it was confirmed by Shotzi herself that it was an ACL tear, and that's her done. So for 9 months, so that is probably going to see her probably not back really until the Rumble.
Yeah, which is very unfortunate, and hopefully she recovers as quickly and as fully as possible. Now that we've seen what happened, it did differ slightly from the live reports, just because I guess people were slightly unsighted when it happened. It did happen on the ramp side of the ringside area. So she jumps down from the apron, delivering a move to Lyra. And it was reported that she banged her knee on the apron. But instead, it almost reminds me of like when Rollins did that sunset bomb and landed a bit too awkwardly and jammed his knee.
You kind of see the leg give way a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, she doesn't hit the apron. She just lands fully on the floor with her feet. But it just reminds you that it only takes millimeters to get something wrong in wrestling, and it can have long-term consequences, unfortunately.
She joins an increasingly busy bench of injuries at the moment that features Charlotte Flair, who is out till September after tearing her ACL, MCL, and meniscus in December. Cora Jade, who suffered a torn ACL back last month. Seth Rollins, who suffered a torn MCL and partially tore his meniscus. He is expected to be back in time for WrestleMania. And CM Punk, who tore his triceps at the Royal Rumble. He's out for the rest of the year. It's that recurring 3-letter initials, ACL, that seems to keep coming up in a lot of these.
Yes.
Seems to be a spate of ACL injuries and the like at the moment.
I mean, I guess as well, knee injuries are quite common in wrestling because of the nature of wrestling, but also it's been a lot of promotions. Every promotion goes through a really bad run of luck when it comes to injuries to their roster. AEW went through one when Punk, in the latter year of Punk's time there, when everybody was getting injured. And it just, I suppose, is a test not only for the wrestlers to come back, but for the creative team to see how they can kind of improvise and book on the fly a little bit. And in WWE's case, they often do stuff a little bit memorable or special when they're forced to throw different people in.
Yeah, they do tend to always go over the top when it comes to substituting people. So it is a test for the creative people, but obviously more so is a test for the talent. So we send Shotzi nothing but love for a full and timely recovery. Meanwhile, on NXT, 2 SmackDown stars rocked up.
Oh, I got ahead of myself there. I was just so excited about the Chase University.
Well, Chase U beat Nathan Frazier and Axiom. They became top contenders for the NXT tag titles, but before they could celebrate, they were jumped by Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
They're from SmackDown, Tom.
What are they doing here?
That's right. The OC did beat down the boys from Chase University, and it seems as though they now have designs on the NXT Tag Team Championships, currently held by no longer the Wolf Dogs. Their new name...
Dog Wolves.
No, it's Spear of Days. It's not that good, is it?
I prefer Wolf Dogs.
So much better than the Spear of Days.
Spear of Days.
I know, because it's their finishers.
I feel like it's a weapon you get in Clash of Champions. It's a weapon you get in Raid Shadow Legends, isn't it?
The news, yeah, and thank you very much for sponsoring it. No,
if you type Cultaholic in when you get Raid Shadow Legends, you get the Spear of Days, which has effect only on a Tuesday.
And you get a couple of Wolf Dogs thrown in.
A couple of Wolf Dogs just for fun. They did an interview backstage and they said they would be at NXT for as long as needed, with designs on winning the NXT Tag Team title. So we're going to get the Spear of Days versus Gallows and Anderson at some point.
Yes, it very much looks like it. I'm sad that Chase U seemed to be the babyface opponents early in a team's reign who loses to them, because I think they deserve the world and more, Chase University. But it looks like they might be the fall guys in this particular feud, but multi-team feud as well. But then again, there could always be a shock title change given that Bron Breakker is now on the main roster, and there's been rumours and reports that Baron might be joining him as well.
So possibly it'll lead to something like that. But yeah, sad that Chase U got a bit of... And it's sad that Riley Osborne got a bit of collateral as well.
His date didn't go very well.
Didn't go down. I do believe, I did some digging into this, just an aside, I believe Riley Osborne is the first WWE star to be signed from Cumbria.
He does have a strange accent, doesn't he?
When I heard him, I went, he's not Geordie, is he? And I listened, I went, it's Cumbria.
It's
Cumbria.
It's almost Geordie, isn't it? But Cumbria is such a massive area, and yet there are so few people from there in not our wrestling, but in the WWE. Is he the first one?
I think he's the first one.
Fair enough.
I think he's the first one. We are teasing a heel turn on NXT last night as well, aren't we?
Yes, it's a tease that probably began last week and then picked up in intensity this week as well. And it's none other than Roxanne Perez. She's the babyface of all.
She's lovely.
Yeah, well, last week we saw a more aggressive side of her where she was angry in the locker room backstage because she'd not been given this rematch against Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship, despite the fact that their match was turned into a triple threat, an impromptu one, when Lola Vice cashed in her breakout tournament contract. They'd ended with Lyra retaining the championship. Roxanne feels like this is unfair. She was complaining backstage last week, and then Ren Sinclair, the former Maddie Rankowski on the independent scene.
Maddie Rankowski.
She's playing kind of like this this naive, nervous babyface rookie, and she was like, "Don't worry, Roxanne, I feel bad for you." And Roxanne went, "Shut up," and hit her in the face, and then got scolded for it like a child by Ava, the GM, later on. She went, "You can't be hitting people in the face.
Don't hit people in the face."
And Roxanne went, "Oh." Now this week we saw an interview with a noticeably more aggressive than normal Roxanne Perez, who called out Shotzi and Lyra Valkyria. This was before Shotzi's injury, of course, and took aim at Ren Sinclair as well. Roxanne said that Sinclair reminded her of who she used to be when she first joined NXT, but she's no longer just happy to be there. And then she beat her in a dominant and aggressive fashion during their match later on, which, I mean, if she hasn't yet fully turned heel, she's well on her way to doing so.
Yeah, this feels like this is sort of getting her a little closer to that finish line, I think.
Yeah, she's not who I would have expected to turn heel, though.
No, but do you know what? It's good for her to test her range in that way.
Yes, because she's I'd say one of the stronger members of NXT in the ring. She's got all the experience, even though she's very young. She's a bit of an indie star prior to signing with WWE. But we haven't seen maybe as much of her character work. So yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes.
I'm excited to see what happens when a major SmackDown star makes their return. And according to what we saw on Twitter last night, it is very, very close. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you. A liar don't mean to step to. It's been a long time since we've seen Sheamus on telly for WWE. It was back in August. He had Edge's last match in the company, and since then the Brawling Brutes have dissolved like a fine powder, and we just don't know what his status is. We heard he was dealing with a really bad shoulder injury, but I think it's all looking good for our boy Shamo.
Yes, because last night he tweeted, "Anyone missing 5-star banger matches?" and then hashtag match of the year 21, 22 and 23, which seems to be a strong hint that he could be nearing a return to the ring very soon. And I think most of us would agree that that's a very good thing, given his recent form.
It's a strong hint that he listens to matches of the month with Jack the Jobber, because, of course, his match with Drew and Gunter dominated last year's
It won.
rankings.
It was my match of the entire year.
Yeah. I thought that was what he was referencing, to be honest.
Someone replied to that tweet and said, because his tweet was, anybody missing these 5-star banger matches? And someone put, no, I watch wrestling for characters and storylines, not 5-star matches. And Sheamus replied, watch a soap opera. So,
I mean, Sheamus is bang on, but also, you can have both.
You can't have both. You can.
Why is it that when we say, oh, I really like oranges on Twitter, people go, oh, so what's your problem with bananas? You can have both.
You can have both.
It's fine. Wrestling has some of the greatest storyline elements to it, and 5-star banger matches from guys like Sheamus. In fact, lately, the storyline stuff has been excellent, to the point where Ross Tweddle has shared 5 WrestleMania 40 clues that you may have missed from The Rock.
He's like Sherlock Holmes in.
Sherlock Ross.
Yeah.
He's been doing the digging, and I think there's some... I won't spoil the pertinent points that he makes, but it's going to get you thinking. It's on our YouTube channel right now.
Hound of the Roscovilles.
Nice. That is still a better name than Spear of Days. We'll have more wrestling news throughout your day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you, bye.